Welcome to another episode of the Coffee Conversation Show powered by the Emerging India Forum, TEIF, and our tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Today's series is the Emerging Professional. Theme is Championing Sports Law, Blending Law and Sports. We have with us Professor Tarun, an Assistant Professor Research at Gujarat National Law University, co-founder of Doctrina Ludus. He has a passion for sports law and has a robust background in constitutional and administrative law. Tarun has made significant strides in legal education and research. So friends, this will be an interesting conversation having with a lawyer and an academician and an educationalist. So Tarun, welcome to today's episode at the Coffee Conversation Show. I just wanted to explain you the format. We have got 3 rounds, the personal, professional, and the rapid fire round, the fun round.
Right.
So let's begin and dive deep with having coffee and conversation. Right. So Tarun, my first question will be, what motivated you to pursue a career in sports law and how did you start this journey?
First of all, Amir, thank you very much for the invite, and it's great to be on this podcast. It's great to be with you today evening and talk about sports law and sports and other things that I love. And it's a very interesting question. A lot of people ask me that how I got into sports law, because a lot of people don't even know about sports law. They knew that there is something called sports, but there's something called sports law. And when you speak about sports law, they think rules and regulations of cricket or football or these games. But it's absolutely a different ball game, because it's law and how sports is governed by that particular law. And how I got into it, because I had a bit of sporting background. So I came from a place called Dehradun, which had a very sophisticated and a brilliant sporting environment. And my parents, my sister, everybody used to play. My mother has played national level basketball. My father used to play cricket. My sister played badminton. And that's why I got those genes from my parents to play. And while I used to play, they were, of course, not at the school level, but definitely at the university level. I played football for a bit when I was in Delhi, when I was studying in the university. Then I studied in another university in Gandhinagar, where I now teach, which is Gujarat National Law University. So in both these places, I used to play. And there, while playing, there were a number of questions that came to my mind from a legal perspective, because I knew of a lot of players coming who were my schoolmates, my college mates, who could have done extremely, extremely well as players if they knew their rights and responsibilities in terms of their representation, in terms of what incentives can they get, and all these things. A lot of them did not really understood the whole concept of doping, and their careers got shattered because of that. And this triggered me and I thought that why not mix my education and my passion and see a field, because it was still, but at that point of time, it was a very niche area in India. And the journey has been extremely fruitful, Ahmed. I can assure you that. And it's really, really good to see now that I can reach out to a lot of athletes, help them in their career and advise them on things that they really want a little bit of mentoring on.
That's very interesting. Yeah. An athlete can understand an athlete.
Absolutely.
Means it is for everyone. A doctor will understand a doctor what pain or what a journey goes through when from a student to becoming a professional. So you know the pain, everything, and you can guide them, mentor them, counsel them, and give them a good life.
Absolutely.
So then what is a brighter future with your guidance.
Right. And you just mentioned, just to add one more thing, you just mentioned about journey. Actually, through this process, I lived the journey that I wanted to live of a sports person, which I couldn't, through them. So, it's really great to be a part of this.
Yes. We sometimes, destiny takes us to, changes our course, but
absolutely
connected with our passion.
Right.
So that is it. It all, divine knows, yes, इसका passion है, इसको उस तरह से connected रखते हैं. So he knows the best. So now, what made you start an academician or an educational or teaching role? And why did you select my next question: why did you select from all the law colleges Gujarat National Law University?
Oh, that's a good question, a fair question to ask. I think the first part where why did I get into academics? I think again that's a little bit of maybe the gene pool that I come from. My father, who's now retired, was a scientist, and he used to teach at in Dehradun, where he used to work. There's something called Forest Research Institute, and he was a scientist there. He used to teach at the university that was there. Uh, and I come from an academically sound background. Even my extended family, my cousins, and so on and so forth have good academic background. Though I would not say that I always wanted to teach. That was my first option. But one thing that I knew I never wanted to do when I finished law was corporate law. No offense to anybody who's into corporate law, I just couldn't see myself doing that hard work, and it's genuinely hard work. I salute people who are into corporate law, and they can I can work for long hours for sure, but I would be into academics into it. I think academics came when I was in Delhi, when I was in my university, because I think a lot of people might connect with this. You always study at the last moment for exams, and we used to divide these sections or modules that I'm going to prepare this, and raat ko everybody used to come together at night, and we used to sit, and then each one of us will teach the other 4 or 5 people who were there. And I think I developed a passion for teaching from there, because I thought that I could explain things at that point of time in a decent way. And it was something that I used to really, really love. Reading about new things, challenging myself, trying to get an answer. I'm not a very smart person in terms of knowledge. I might not know things, but one thing that I give myself is that I'm going to find answer for it. And I think that's one quality a teacher should have. That, because there's a very I don't know why all everybody thinks that teachers should know everything. I absolutely don't believe in that concept. I think a professor, a teacher should have the attitude to find answers if you don't know them. And it's genuinely very impossible to know everything. So I have that kind. I think that I have a decent amount of hard work in me, where I'm going to find answers. And teaching was something that attracted me. I thought challenging myself, being out there with the students. Again, one more very important thing why I wanted to be into academics, because I just love the student life. I never wanted to be away from the student life, because now also when I'm in the university, I play with them, I play football with them, try to play football with them every evening, because that's the sport I love. And I wanted to have a life where I'm still connected to students, challenge myself, understand things from them, the kind of things I learn from them. It's absolutely unparalleled experience, and that's why academics really attracted me.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, your role at GNLU Center for Sports and Entertainment Law. Can
Right.
you briefly explain what is your role and what are the activities over there?
Yeah. So GNLU Center for Sports and Entertainment, what's called GCSEL, is actually India's first university-based center which works in the area of sports and entertainment law. And what we essentially do is we do research projects, capacity building, and any kind of academic endeavor through the center in the area of sports and entertainment law. We've got like a huge history in terms of getting the best minds, not only from India but around the globe. Some of the best courses that India, certificate courses that have come out in the area of sports law, we can proudly say it comes out from the GCSEL, and it's just building from strength to strength every year. Best minds in the world. We are currently either working with them, or in the coming future, we have already planned that we are going to work with them in the area of sports and entertainment law. It goes from academics to professionals to law firm partners. The best of the best Indian law firms have collaborated with the center, and I think we have done quite a bit for the ecosystem of sports and entertainment law.
That's interesting. Now, my next question will be, why did you select role of research?
Again, I love challenging myself. I'm not a great reader, by the way. If you're going to ask my family, especially my sister, who still complains, and she's absolutely she doesn't believe the fact that now I'm a teacher. because when I was in school, I never used to love reading, getting to about new things. Though I was a good observer for sure, because wherever I used to go, we used to travel. My parents used to, we used to go on vacation, so I used to remember things. I was sharp that way, but not into reading and all. But when I started reading, and that was, I think, when I came to Delhi to do my college, and post that, I think the kind of effect it had on me, you start feeling smart, that you know things, and there is an urge of knowing new things, and when you know about these new things, it's an unexplainable feeling. You can't just express how you feel. It's empowering, and so on and so forth. And then using that kind of tool to make sure that the community benefits out of it. And that's why I came into research. I think it's a great field to work. Anybody who hasn't tried research, though we do research every now and then in our daily lives also, regarding if you want to see the best movie, for the best coffee place, and so on and so forth. But it's just empowering when you crack anything out of the knowledge that you've gained, and you try to find answers for it. I think that's the best feeling. I totally can get it, how Gautam Buddha would have felt when he got these things, and he found answers to a lot of questions, though not of that level, but I can absolutely understand how it feels.
Teaching sports law, how are students being keen to study sports law vis-a-vis other subjects, and dealing with athletes requires a different mindset. So how do you train students, because they come from a different mindset, they're different people,
Right.
because they're more focused on achieving something on the field, and they've got no commercials things. They are dealing with so many things, because it is, athletes have to work on their bodies, on the game, everything.
Right.
So, a sports lawyer, how does a college equip them to deal with such kind of people and their key stakeholders working with them?
Right. In terms of college, how college is equipping them, Amir, I think there's a lot of that needs to be done. Very few colleges in India have, I think, kind of cracked the code to how, to make sure that sports law becomes a very intrinsic part of their curriculum. Uh, because of the reason, and this is something that I tell whenever I speak, that sports till now is considered to be a leisure activity. The seriousness towards sports hasn't come in till now. There's an old saying that, पढ़ोगे लिखोगे बनोगे नवाब और खेलोगे कूदोगे बनोगे खराब. Unfortunately, that that understanding is still inside in society in India, and that's a little problematic. I believe if I want to tell somebody who wants to be in the area of sports law, is number one, first to develop that respect for the entity of sports, for the sports person, for stakeholders who are a part of it, and have empathy towards them, because the kind of hard work they put in, nothing against any other profession, because every profession has a lot of hard work, but in terms of the span of an athlete, the career span of an athlete, versus the competition level that is there, to survive and to make a name for himself or herself, I think it's a tremendous job. And they should, they deserve all the respect that we should give them. Unfortunately, we don't. And I tell everybody, who wants to be in the area of sports law, from a commercial angle as well, because a lot of people say there is no money in India. I truly believe there's a lot of opportunity still, which has to come, and it has to grow in India. But globally, I think it's one of the most lucrative market,
Yes.
if anybody wants to practice, because sports lawyers in Europe, in America, in Africa, but specifically in Europe and America, mint a lot of money. And that's I think and in India also it's going to be it's going to have a tremendous future.
Yes. Touch wood. I've been very fortunate to having a coffee conversation with Apurva Sarvishmukh from Legal SS. He's into
Yeah.
sports law. So I learned a lot. I'm learning from you. Then I learned a lot from Swati, who recommended you.
No,
Uh,
yeah,
Being a sports lawyer, then she started her own venture into using technology for promoting sports.
absolutely.
based internationally, having an international exposure. So yes, sports lawyer from India should watch the Coffee Corner episode of what do you say, yours, Swati, and there are many more.
Yeah.
So
Deep
this is
was I think a part of
niche
the
area.
podcast.
Yeah, this is a niche area which students as well as others should consider it, make it, and spread it so that what do you say, curriculum wise and professional wise becomes more lucrative and enjoyable. Because
Absolutely.
your working dynamics changes, and it internationally is it is on a what do you say, large scale.
Right.
Lawyers work on a what do you say, large scale of negotiating projects
Oh,
for
absolutely.
athletes.
Right. In India, it's still going to take a bit of time, though we are at on the right track. But globally, I can assure whoever's going to listen to the podcast, to know sports law, it's a booming market, huge market, a lot of money, a lot of exciting projects. You might get lucky even to meet your favorite athletes, but a lot of people go to sports law for that. But just to give a reality check to everybody, that might not be true. A lot of people think that if you're a sports lawyer, you will get to meet maybe Cristiano Ronaldo if you're representing him. That might not happen. So don't feel bad about it later. It's a legal kind of work, but very exciting work.
So my next question will be a little curious. Suppose someone has studied law in India, and what are the opportunities for him abroad? How can he go for to working in firms, international firms?
Right. So there are two ways, Amir. I haven't done. I have done a degree in sports law as well. I think it's not on my LinkedIn, which I was checking today. So, but mine was a remote, education kind of a system. So one way is that you go to these international universities, you study there, and then you crack an internship, you meet, you do that kind of networking, and end up getting a job. But now, because after COVID, the market has opened, because of the cyberspace. Now it's kind of comparatively easier to reach out to these international firms for internships. And the good reputation that Indian students have made outside is that they're very hardworking students that go abroad. You've met Swati, Deep has been on your podcast, and there are a number of other sports lawyers coming from India who have really made their name at the global forefront because they're so hardworking, very smart people. So with Indian students, that's a great plus. The only thing is that where we sometimes lack, and I used to lack when I was growing up, is the networking part. We get sometimes a little shy. I'm talking about the sports law community students, though the new generation also has gone with them. They're very upfront about asking things. At the global space now, because of online internships and all, you can easily reach out to these international firms, get an internship with them, and if you're hardworking, if you do the right thing they ask you to do, you'll have a beautiful future ahead. The other way, of course, as I mentioned, you go for an international LLM, an international master's program. There you meet a lot of people. There are specifically two very famous programs, three actually very famous programs around the globe. One is ISDE, which is in Spain. You've got another one, which is called the FIFA Masters Program. The one I did was the De Montfort University, which is again in Leicester in England. So there are a number of universities around the globe where you can go and create that kind of network, work hard, crack a internship or a job there, and you can easily it's going to be tough easily in terms of if you're hardworking, it's easy for you. You have to really work hard, do that kind of networking, and you can have a glorious future in the area of sports law.
That's interesting. How are laws in India for an athlete for promotion of his interest?
uh, I'm somebody who really advocates this, Ahmed, regarding the rights and responsibilities, not only rights, but responsibilities of athletes as well. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done in this area. Unfortunately, though we are on the right track, but still, we are at a very nascent stage. And people like me, people like, other people who are very senior to me in the area of sports law, We try our level best to tell athletes about their rights and responsibilities, but there are a few challenges, Amir, there. One of the challenge is regarding that sports law right now is a little, I would say, global and international, and a little Western in nature. And our athletes come from a background where language is a major problem, the vernacularity issue, which I always talk about whenever I speak in such podcasts. I think what India needs to do is, and I will raise my hand, people like me have to do it, that we make sure that our athletes get the right information in the language that they understand. And it's not very difficult to do it because countries have done it. It's not like other countries haven't done it. I think India now has to begin this, reach out to our athletes, and it's happening at a very slow pace, I'm sorry, but it's definitely happening. The best part is that athletes actually want to know it. I talk to athletes on a daily basis, people who are into this and who are playing sport at the professional level, at the semi-pro level, at the amateur level, at the world-class level also, and they really want to know their rights. So we have that kind of opportunity there. I think what we need to do is to find innovative, indigenous ways to make sure that this information goes to the athlete. Our laws are there, but of course, I'm sure you meet a lot of lawyers. You've spoken to them. Laws sometimes become very technical. It is a technical field, and for a layman, it gets very difficult to know all of this thing. I'm very sure that people who are well-read, come from a great economic backgrounds, they also find very difficult to understand Indian laws. Now imagine an athlete. Most of our athletes come from very humble background, so our laws have to be simplified for them, and they should know. It should be explained to them in the simplest way forward, and people like me have to do it at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yes, someone has to take the mantle. My next question will be, what about government and sports bodies?
Yeah.
How are they, what do you say, taking towards sports law and sports lawyers?
Oh, I think now it has really opened up. I will congratulate all the governments, that have been there, whether it's the current government, the former government that India had. There have been a lot of positive steps towards building sports law, though it's still under process. But slowly and steadily, people have started understanding the importance of it, and uh, there are a lot of regulations that have come in. There have been a lot of guiding principles that have come in. We've got the National Sports Development Code. There are a few bills that have been tabled in the parliament regarding sports ethics and so on and so forth. The speed is slow, but surely it's happening. It might take a bit of more time, but I think the government has all the governments in India right now, state or central, they have the heart in the right place. So I think if the way it's moving, I think after the Olympics, the kind of medal tallies that we've been getting, specifically, people really don't talk about it, but specifically in Paralympics, I think India has done immensely well. So the governments have also now started feeling that, look, this is a sector where we have to work. It's happening. uh, I think it will take a bit of time, as I've mentioned, but it will surely happen.
Okay, that is government. What about
Yeah.
the judiciary? What steps is judiciary taking towards athletes, towards sports lawyers, and
Yeah.
helping them in their ways?
Yeah. I don't like sports lawyers. I'm not very sure if judiciary is doing something, but judiciary has done something really brilliant. That is recognizing right to play as a fundamental right. I don't remember the year of the case. I think this was 2012 or 13. Can't remember the case where the matter went to this court, Supreme Court, I think, and where it was said that yes, under Article 21A, which is right to education, right to play is also a part of it. And there were a number of directions given to the sports body, the All India University, which is called AIU, and so on and so forth. So that kind of recognition has happened. And the judiciary, also, we see whenever cases related to sports governance go there. The Wrestling Federation of India is one of the most recent cases where the sexual harassment aspect came to light. The judiciary was very vibrant about it, though there were a little reservations about how police was dealing with it. But I understand their perspective as well. But the judiciary also now recognize athletes. They recognize the need of sports law, and they recognize the need of specialized sports lawyer for this. So again, I think our intentions are great. I think the pace has to increase in terms of building a sports ecosystem. Excuse me, building a very vibrant sporting ecosystem in India. The intention is definitely there.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So now, Tarun, what made you go and study constitutional and administrative law?
I think I love that subject. I used to love civics when I was in school. And I think constitution and administrative law, specifically constitutional law, I think a lot of people, most of the people like it. It's some portions of it is a little, a little technical in terms of understanding. But I just love the subject. I just love how the Indian Constitution is made, how it has taken, so much from other countries around the globe, and then made sure that it has its own domestic footprint to it. And I just love reading about it, the kind of things people have written. If you take books by Sirvai, books by D.D. Basu, MP Jain, and so on and so forth, I think they're wonderful writers in the area of constitutional and administrative law. And at the end of the day, if you look at it, Amir, constitution is actually the foundation. Any law that is through which we are governed in India has its footprint in the constitutional law. And that's the reason why, because it's a very simple document if you read about it, but the kind of power it generates, it governs 1.4 billion people of this in this country. I think it's a brilliant subject for everyone to read. I know a lot of people want to get into corporate law and all, but I urge everybody to just give your 100%, even 1000% if possible, to constitution and administrative law. It's if you get if you start loving it, there's no better subject, I believe. Nothing against any other subject. Sports law and constitutional law, I have a little bit of bias towards that. I don't think so there's any better subject than constitutional and administrative law, specifically constitutional law. Brilliant.
Wow. So now let's talk about a journey as an author. What made you become an author?
Oh, it was just a stroke of luck, and I want to really thank through this medium the director of Gujarat National Law University, Professor Shanta Kumar. I really think it's only because of him that book came out, and of course, the first author of the book, that's Sangeeta Singh, who's the Vigilance Commissioner of Gujarat. So we were doing this project with the Vigilance Commission of Gujarat, where we had to develop this case. Not case diary, but a manual which will have all the cases, important cases which have shaped all these anti-corruption laws in India. And we went back to even the Privy Council cases, some of very important international judgments, and from there we went till I think 2022-23, and we took all those cases, and we just wanted to create a manual. But when we were developing it, we saw potential in that project. More than me, I think I'll give it to Sangeeta ma'am and Shanta Kumar. So they saw a great level of potential in the project. We reached out to one of the most well-known publishers in the world, Thomson Reuters, with that proposal. They loved the idea. And through that, I never thought that in such a young age, I'm going to have a book of my own, which I can call, and it's one of my most prized possessions. I seriously, I never ever thought that I'm going to have a book. I'll be as an author, I'll have a name on the book. My sister again, she pulls my leg every now and then, saying that it's unbelievable to see you being an author, a person who never read a book in the entire school life. I just read one book in my entire school life, which was called Room on the Roof by Ruskin Bond, because that was a school homework we used to get in the vacations. I had to read it because of that. And from there to being an author, it's just unbelievable.
Yes. So your unbelievable next venture.
Yeah.
Doctrina Ludus.
Absolutely.
What is really behind this? What do you say? A different name. And what are the activities you do at this venture?
So I've been teaching sports law. I've been teaching sports law since 2016-17. I remember. I think the first lecture officially that I got was from Symbiosis Hyderabad. Yeah. And I really thank them. They gave me my first shot to teach sports law. I was absolutely underconfident how I'm going to perform, but from there it's been extremely great. And I think this was COVID times, and I'd been teaching a lot of. I'd been teaching, physically and also through the online mode at a number of universities, at a number of ventures around the country. uh, the best part that has been with me in my life is that I've got the best kind of people who have encouraged me to do, the work that I'm doing right now. And one such person who's my partner in Doctrina Ludus is Deep Ray. I think Coffee Conversation had an interview with him. I would urge everybody to hear that interview. Deep and I shared the same kind of passion to have a portal or to have a platform where sports law and sports studies, we take that module and we reach out to general public, because there was a lot of enthusiasm for it, but at the Indian level there was not a lot of platforms that were giving you that. And from there we started building Doctrina Ludus, to make sure that sports law, our vision is to make sure that sports law reaches to every nook and corner of this country. And since we have started teaching together, I think we have not only reached to nook and corner of India, because we have got participants coming from Jammu and Kashmir, from Kerala, from Rajasthan, from Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, from Central India. But we were very lucky to reach out to SARC nations. We had our courses in Nepal. Now, when Doctrina Ludus came out, till now, and touch wood, till now, in every course that we have offered, we always have international footfall. We've got students coming from Africa, students coming from the UK, might be Indian students, but they're based in UK or Africa. But I think from Africa, whenever we got a footfall, that was native African student who had reached out to us. And we've been extremely, extremely lucky. And it's going from strength to strength. We are now coming up with a lot of exciting projects like courses and panel discussions and so on and so forth. But it has been a wonderful journey, and I couldn't have done it without Deep. I think it's a great blend of practical and academic perspective to sports law. He's been somebody who's really inspired me. Swati is another person who's been extremely supportive when it comes to Doctrina Ludus. We've got another colleague, friend of ours called Saksam Shamat, who's in Spain, who's a sports lawyer. All these people, that's what I'm saying. I think I've been blessed when it comes to people. Since my childhood, my parents, my sister, my brother-in-law, my wife now, recently got married. Extremely, extremely supportive people who've just pushed me to be the best version of myself. And that's the reason why you have Doctrina Ludus.
Yes. Okay. So who has influenced you, or who's your mentor from the legal world?
Oh, interesting. I think I would say my mentor from legal world would be a lot of people, but if I have to pick one from where I thought that it's a great field and I should really work hard towards it, is this Supreme Court senior advocate called Dushyant Dave. I had the opportunity to work with Mr. Dave, intern with him, and then again, I extended my internship when I finished law school. And I think he's been a great influencer, a great person who has encouraged me. Never, came to me and said that, you should work. Well, of course, he said work hard and all. But, I just observed him because I've worked with him, and the kind of human being and the kind of, and the person who encourages, the way he encourages you is absolutely unparalleled. And I'm a fan of his because his work ethics, and so on and so forth. And I'm one of those very few lucky people, I would say, who could observe him from close proximity. And he's really been somebody who has really influenced me in my life. And thanks to him, I'm not in touch with him anymore because he's way too senior and all. But whenever his interviews come in, he regularly gives interviews on these great channels on YouTube. I always hear Dushyant sir because I'm just a fan of him. He's a very tough person to work with because he's very ethical, very research oriented, and so on and so forth. He's again a huge promoter and a huge supporter of constitutional law. I think that's another reason why I love him. and I always follow him whenever I get an opportunity.
Wow.
Yeah.
So my next question will be, what advice would you give to students aspiring to specialize in sports law?
I think the first advice would be don't be blinded by the term sports, because if you're coming in the area of sports law thinking that you're going to meet Sachin Tendulkar and Mary Kom and Serena Williams and Roger Federer, you might just, if you are lucky, or Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, you might just, if you're lucky. But if that's the that's the encouragement, great. It's a great, great way to encourage yourself, but it's not the reality. Please understand that sports law is a legal field. I urge everybody who wants to get into it, because I did not do it, so I'm going to urge everybody and request everybody to do it, to please have good grasp on basic legal subjects, basics of every legal subject, I'm sorry, whether it's constitutional law, whether it's contract, whether it's intellectual property. I never did it. Now I'm doing it, so I know I have to put in 10 more times hard work that I could have, if I would have, would have not done it if I would have done it before, but now I have to do it. So get a good grasp over all these basic law subjects, research and write. A lot of people read, but they don't write. I would really request everybody to please read and write regularly. I've now started writing very regularly. As I told you, I'm not a great reader, but now I'm getting better day by day, because it helps you in two ways. Number one, it helps you in terms of recognition. If you write good work, people will recognize your work, and that really works in the area of sports law. The second is that there is a dearth of literature in the area of sports law. So it helps in that way, in developing that kind of literature. Two things, and network uh, in any way possible. There are so many things happening online and offline in India and outside. Please reach out to the correct people. Please reach out to the correct forums which are in the area of sports law. And if you keep working hard towards it, I'm definitely sure that you'll crack it. There is no way you won't, because there is so much of work and so much of opportunity, that if you are somebody who's hardworking and you really, really want to work towards the betterment of the ecosystem, you will get opportunities in that.
Wow. So my last question, how has technology helped you in your career?
This is the biggest way it has helped me. I could reach out to people. I can sit today with people like you, Amir, who are really working towards to give information to people about law and this sports law. I think technology has played a great part. I believe Doctrina Ludus wouldn't be there if if technology wasn't there, because of COVID times, everything got shut and we really couldn't reach out to people in person. But because of technology, because of these great online portals where you could do live panel discussions and courses and so on and so forth. I think great opportunity for everybody. Use these platforms, because it's life changing. We've reached out to, at least if I collect since 2020, I must have reached out to somewhere around, I don't know how many thousand students, because of technology, because we do our courses, panel discussions, we see so much of footfall, it gets very easy to reach out to people. I think it's just a brilliant age for people like me who want to build the sporting ecosystem, sports law ecosystem, because technology will really take you to places, and it genuinely is.
Yep. That's very true. Being a digital nomad, you can work anytime, anywhere in the world.
Right, and by the way, I'm digitally very unsound. Really, I don't understand technology that well, but now I've started developing it. Very recently, I was just telling it to a friend of mine, a little funny story. So I got a new laptop, an Apple laptop, and I got the Microsoft 360, and I had no clue about the features about Microsoft 365, and the basic features I know. I was making a PowerPoint presentation one day, and I don't know what I clicked, there are trackpad gestures in Apple. I have no clue what did I click. And as soon as I clicked it, there was this slide maker. It makes your slide automatically. You just have to put the material in it. And since then, I've not stopped I'm just making the best of the best slides that I could. So technology is great. It's very interactive.
And accidents also helps.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's go to our next round and understand Tarun as a person. So Tarun, how was your college life and what actions you did there?
Okay, actions, I can't tell all the actions, but college life was super fun. College life was absolute fun. Met the best of the best people in my college life who shaped me. Whatever I'm today, I think I'm going to give 70-80% to the people I met in college. I studied in Jamia Millia Islamia, and it was a blend of Muslim culture, Hindu culture coming together. A lot of people think that it's only Muslim culture. Absolutely not. It's a beautiful blend of all the cultures in India. I could understand a community very closely for 5 years, and it was the best experience of my life. The kind of people I've met, the kind of teachings that I've got by knowing people, by talking to them, the kind of experiences I had. I think I would only I can actually say that my sporting career actually started because of Jamia. If Jamia wasn't there, I don't think if there will be any football happening or there will be any sports law happening. It's only because of Jamia uh, that these things have happened. I was notorious for sure, but actually I was more notorious in school when I was there. I was notorious and really enjoyed myself. Really did not study too much in college. I'll be very honest, but it was a different learning, a different way of learning things. Being in Jamia and then being in GNLU, which was a National Law University of high repute in India. Brilliant people I've met. Actually, sports law wouldn't have happened if GNLU wasn't there. I will give sports wouldn't have happened if Jamia wasn't there, and sports law wouldn't have happened if GNLU wasn't there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you stay connected with your friends despite of your busy work schedule?
You want an honest answer for it, Amir? An absolute honest answer, because I'm not going to lie. Because people, if I will send it this whenever it
Because
gets
then
out,
your friends will be.
absolutely, they will tell the truth. I'm very, very bad with keeping bad in terms of I don't call people very often. And to an extent where my mother, my father, my sister, they are also absolutely they've lost it. That you don't call me. My wife, I recently got married, and I'm always connected with her on WhatsApp. I'm always connected with my sister on WhatsApp, with my friends on Instagram, sharing reels and all. But I'm not a very calling person. I think I will give all the credit to them that they still keep connected with me. We share funny reels. The college friends that you have. There is no filter with them, so you share every kind of news and gossip and so on and so forth. But I'm trying to be better. I hope I do. I'm going to take this opportunity to apologize to all my friends who I've not called for years. I still remember you. I still love you. Please understand, I'm not a very calling person, but I will make myself better. I definitely promise this.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
So from your bucket list for 2024,
Yeah.
what do you want to do in this remaining months on priority?
I'm just saying from a personal
Yeah, personal,
basis.
professional, you can share both. It's up to
A
you.
personal basis, definitely, because I recently got married. I think I'm going to work in developing that because right now, it's a distance marriage. My wife stays in Mumbai and I work here, so we are trying to, settle together in one place. That's at the top of the list. Um, and I want to start diving. I want to do underwater diving. I was telling my wife. A couple of yesterday only, I think we were speaking that I really want to get into it. I think I'm just fascinated by that sport. I think it's therapeutic, it's meditative. I really, really want to do it. I want to do my first dive in 2024, learn it. And when I said I want to learn diving, I really want to learn it and maybe look at it as a parallel career option in my life. That I do these dives around the globe if I'm lucky enough to do it. That's definitely on my personal at the personal level. Professionally, there are projects that I really want to get into when it comes to Doctrina Ludus, when it comes to my own publications and research projects. I think the foundation of all these projects is really strong. So hopefully by 2024, a lot of things might happen. For that, people have to follow my LinkedIn. I'm a very social person that way, putting whatever I'm doing there. But yes, diving is something I really want to do this year. I really want to start that sport.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you unwind after a long day or on a weekend?
It will be a very cliche answer, but I think a lot of people don't understand the power of it. I love to sleep. I think sleeping is a great way of unwinding. People think that, I'm sure reading books and watching movies and, just going out for a walk, talking to your friends is a great way. But I just love sleeping. And that's the way I unwind myself. Any opportunity that I get to sleep, I will sleep. And I say it with all honesty. But yes, there are other ways. Football is, again, I think the highlight of my day, every day, Amir, is football. Whenever if I'm watching it, if I'm playing it, that's the highlight of my day, and that's the way I unwind myself. I've started reading, which will make my sister very proud. And that's another way. I think reading, when I've started doing a lot of reading work, it has really, really helped me in getting in a different zone out of my work life. But football and sleeping are at the top priority. That's the way I unwind myself. But if you ask me other things, I love watching podcast, listening to podcast. I have these few people whose interviews I watch on a daily basis. One of them is Javed Akhtar Saab. I'm a huge Javed Akhtar fan. And I hope I get 1 or 2% of his wit, and I think my life will be full. I just love him. I watch a lot of interviews of sports person, watch a lot of Netflix documentaries on sports, wherever, not only Netflix, but any documentary which is on sports on a regular basis. But sleeping and playing football is at the top of the list. No, but nothing is near that.
Netflix has good documentaries, then Amazon, then Discovery.
Absolutely.
Yes, because of now OTT. Recently, I watched this of 12 Days of Roger Federer.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant.
Beautifully. It was made, executed, and his departure.
My
Wow.
favorite has been The Last Dance. I think a lot of people who watch sports documentary, it's called The Last Dance, is on Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. I think not only from a sports perspective, but I think it's one of the best series that has been made from a directional perspective, from a content perspective. I think I haven't watched a better series in my life than that. So motivating. You actually get to know the life behind an athlete, and how we just say that they're lucky. Oh, I can guarantee you they are not only lucky, but they are so hardworking and they're so daring that they know that it might click or it might not click, but they give all to it and make sure that they're at the best of their ability.
Yes, there is. So, any hobbies or interest you have developed lately?
Well, I think the hobby that I have developed recently, um, I think it's dancing. I used to dance when I was young, and then there was a long period of time where I did not. But this happened last year, where when teachers, I think it was Teachers' Day at GNLU, and the students just pulled me saying that, sir, let's dance and all, and I just don't know where the kid in me. Uh, Again, that it just came in my head. I used to love this song called "Ek Pal Ka Jeena" by Hrithik Roshan, and I used to dance with my cousins and all in that, and it just came to me again. I started started dancing again. Fun fact, I really dance when I'm home alone and all. A lot of people don't know it. Even my I think my wife also doesn't know it. I love dancing, but I'm a little shy. Somebody has to just push me, but if you push me and if you get me there, then there is no stopping. So I think dancing is something. It's not a new hobby. I used to love doing it before, but I really want to now do it again. I think it's great exercise. It's a very, very good way of coming out of that zone.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay. What legacy you like to leave behind, Tarun?
Oh, that's a tough question. That's a first time, that's a first. Nobody's ever asked me legacy. Uh, I think I'll tell you. I think it's a very great question to ask. The legacy that I'm going to leave, I'm not going to say things like which people say that people should know me as one of the best, and so on and so forth. That's a very personal choice. But a legacy that I want to leave, or one thing that I want people to realize, maybe through me, is that it's not necessary that, because I've heard it a lot of times in my life. It's not necessary that somebody who might be a little easygoing when it comes to appearance is going to be easy, is taking everything for granted. That's happened with me a lot in life. I think I'm a very easygoing person personally. Socially, so people think that I'm a very, I'm somebody who should be doubted in terms of will he perform or will he not perform. I would really, really want, through me, people should know, and I'm in that journey. I've not achieved it. That you can be, you can you can celebrate the child in you, but you can still do a lot of great things. Being a child, or having that child gene in you when you're growing up, or when you've reached a certain age, does not mean that you can't achieve things. Whenever I have to be serious, I can be serious and I can do things. But I just love celebrating the child in me. I would request everybody, if somebody wants to follow one thing, if I become that important, is to always celebrate the child that is there in you. I think it's the best feeling when you still are happy with the child that is there in you.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So now let's go to a fun round.
Yeah.
The rapid fire. Your favorite cuisine?
Oh, Indian Mughlai, actually. I love the Mughlai cuisine.
Okay, so from that, which dish?
Any, I can't pick there. Actually, I can't.
Okay. Most used app on your phone?
WhatsApp, Instagram, both of them.
Okay. You're an early bird or a night owl?
A night owl, yeah. I'm a night owl. It's not a great thing. If my parents go to listen to it, they'll be very, very angry. But recently, unfortunately, for past few years, I've become a night owl, not an early. I can sleep till 11:30 also. Sorry, Dad. He's a hard taskmaster, but that's the truth.
Okay. Tea or coffee?
Coffee. Though I used to love tea before. And my coffee mug. It doesn't look like a coffee mug, but it is.
Okay. Favorite place in Gandhinagar?
Favorite place in Gandhinagar? The football field of GNLU. Nothing beats that.
Favorite restaurant you have visited in Gandhinagar?
Favorite restaurant, I can tell you. I love this place called Blue Oven. It's a pizza place. I just love the vibe of it. I think that's my favorite place in Gandhinagar to eat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Your favorite color?
Is red.
Okay. You did very well, Tarun.
Brilliant.
It will be sent to you, autographed by me.
Oh, go thank you.
And share with your students. And
absolutely.
a lot of other things are there which we'll discuss over later.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So friends, it was a lovely conversation we had with Professor Tarun from GNLU. He eats, breathes sports law, and he's all for it. So watch this episode. Anyone who wants to go into sports law, this is the episode which you should watch and go learn sports law under him at GNLU. There are many other institutions, but he is the one. Also, they should visit his Doctrina Ludus. Connect with him on LinkedIn. We'll share the details. This episode will be available on the Coffee Conversation Show. We have got 180 plus episodes with different speakers in this 4-year journey. If you want to be a guest speaker, visit our website, theemergingindiaforum.com. Fill in the form. Our team will connect with you, and we'll be happy to host you and have a conversation, share your knowledge, your expertise with the world out there, and enjoy your weekend. We meet with another speaker out there with coffee.
Thank you, Amir. Thank you for this.
And